Allow me to reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a bird, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You can kill all the black folks you want to, baby. But you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, baby, and you give us nothing. Now, the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now, you kill you want to, but we kill too.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Good morning. Good morning. Whether you're checking this out on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, I wish you a good morning. Good morning, Jasmine Virgo. I appreciate you. So, obviously, YouTube still don't like me, whether I'm Villager on Deck, whether I'm Freeman Media, you know, Facebook been not liking me. Twitter is just probably right around the corner for not liking me, but that's okay. Somebody likes me today, and that brother is named Mr. Melvin Parson. And as I get ready to come up here and bring Brother Melvin up, it's a beautiful thing for me to be able to do streams like this because I'm that full circle guy. I believe in people not only getting a second chance, but doing something with that second chance. And I've been trolling this brother for a while. I literally been trolling this brother for a while because I saw the things that he was doing beautifully out here in Washtenaw County. And I'm sure his products are now spreading outside the county, but we're going to talk to him in just a minute about that. But I appreciate everybody that's going to check this out on all platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're catching the playback, you missed a great live. I'm just going to tell you that right now. We ain't said nothing yet, but you missed a great live. But let me try to get Brother Melvin up here because I was lagging on my situation. So I reset my console. Now Jasmine Virgo says that YouTube is messing with the timing of the stream. So let me get Brother Melvin up here, make sure he's with me. Brother Melvin, you here?
I'm here.
All right, there it is. Oh, I do not need to be bigger than Brother Melvin. I need to be, I'll be the same size as Brother Melvin, even though I'm going to be bigger than him because I'm just bigger than Melvin. But I appreciate you coming in today, brother, because like I said, I've been trolling you. I've been watching your movements around here, around the county for a while. I did not know you personally. I met you this past summer on your farm. But you're doing beautiful things, bro. You're doing beautiful things. And I'm not going to put the cart before the horse because most people who are going to watch this in Washtenaw County already know who you are. But most people who watch my streams aren't in Washtenaw County. So I've got to kind of start a to Z type situation going on here. So I really want to go back to my notes. I don't usually have notes. I usually try to do everything right off the dome. But you had requested, to know what I was going to be talking about because you've probably seen some of my content and you was like, what's this brother going to be asking me? And that was respected. And I gave you some questions. But before we get into those formatted questions and really kick this dialogue as just two brothers on a Sunday morning, I want to know, can you describe who Melvin Parson is and what Melvin Parson went through to get to where we, the people, was manifested? Because a lot of people don't know your story, and we're going to hear about that and hear the things that you're doing around here. But I would like you to be able to articulate who is Melvin Parson and how'd you get here?
Thanks, Shannon. That's I don't know if we've got enough time for that.
This is true. We got all the time you need, though, brother.
Yeah. Hey, but first, I want to say thank you for inviting me onto your show. I can't think of a better way to spend part of my Sunday morning.
Honors.
And I want to thank those who are watching, and also I believe some of our staff and board members may be watching too.
I got them ready. I got them ready already. So we're going to bring them up on Pictorial Sense and have you talk about your motley crew that you got, because you got a beautiful team, man.
I got a beautiful team.
Yeah, I talked to them on the spot. They was joking, laughing and stuff, throwing stuff at me. I was out there with a couple other individuals, and they're beautiful people. But I want to talk to you about how you got to where you are, because you're going to be able to tell me how they got to you.
Yeah. I tell you, so that, who is Melvin Parson? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I find myself constantly evolving and learning about myself, and a lot of stops and starts and reiterations and all of that jazz. But I'm the product of two amazing grandparents that raised me. I was born and raised in Detroit. I tell people often, they ask me where am I from, I tell them I'm from a small one-horse town called Detroit.
What side, man? You got to represent what side? Where you at?
Oh, West Side.
Okay, West Side. Okay, because if you don't say East Side, they might be coming for me at the end of this. So you got West Side is more mild. West Side is more mild. But East Side, boy, don't mention East Side. There's problems over there. There's problems over there.
Well, I think part of it's being cleaned up now with that whole gentrification mess, but whatever, right?
Are you about to start a whole nother conversation, brother?
I know, right? So let me digress from that. Again, raised by some wonderful grandparents, and who really put me on a good track to succeed in life. But then my environment, growing up over there off of Dexter, just kind of took a bigger bigger command of my trajectory than
I get it.
how I was being raised. And and so I mean, I made a series of bad choices and bad decisions, and it wound me up in prison 3 times.
Sure.
As a result of that, I've been homeless 3 times. I battled substance abuse. So that's part of who Melvin is.
Sure. Sure.
But another part of who Melvin is I found out that I'm pretty resilient. I'm determined. I've used some of the obstacles in my life as stepping stones to change the direction and the path in which my life had taken. I've been living here in Washington County since May the 8th of 2004.
Okay.
A lot of these services that people receive in Washington County, I've been a recipient of them. I've been on food stamps. I've lived in subsidized housing. I've eaten at soup kitchens. I've lived in shelters. And somehow or another, through all of that, I've been able to get my sea legs back up underneath me with the help of a whole lot of people, right? I think about Humpty Dumpty when he talks about all the king's horses and all the king's men, right?
That's right.
Like it took that to get me to where I am now. So I tell people a lot of times that I stand on the shoulders of a whole lot of folks. I don't take a lot of the credit for what's going on in my life, even though I did a lot of the work.
Absolutely.
No doubt about that. But I had a whole lot of help and support, like a huge village of people.
Well, and here's the thing, because you could go on for another 15, 20 minutes, and you're gonna. Yeah. I'm gonna break what you're probably about to get into down into my questions, because I made a post yesterday and you wanted to be contrarian Melvin. You told me you wasn't great. And I'm like, you know what? We're gonna argue. We're gonna argue first half hour. What you just said in the first 7-8 minutes of this dialogue here, brother, made you great. You not only were raised by great grandparents, tremendous individuals to bring you up, but you fell, as we all did. I had a great upbringing. My mother raised me, but my grandmothers were really my rooting, right? And I owe a lot to them, but I fell. No matter how good they were, church going, good people, morally sound, I still fell, bro. And you did the same thing. But the thing about the fall is the get up. We made a joke years ago because it was a commercial. I've fallen and can't get up. Well, you fell and got up. And that's what made you great. And that's what's making you great with We the People Opportunity Farm. Now, understanding the life that you had, the former incarceration, the homelessness, being on your knuckles, really, just not probably knowing which way you were going to turn. I'm glad you didn't turn back that other way and go back inside, or we wouldn't be having this discussion. What brought you to the world of farming and cultivation and things like that? Where did that all spur? Because obviously that had to come before the We the People Farm. You had to have the thought process about cultivation. Where'd that all start?
That all started in 2015, I believe. I was living in one of Avalon Housing's units, and they had an edible garden program for those who wanted to participate in growing some food. I think that program's still going on.
Okay.
And I mean, I lived there for 4 years, and every year that program started, I never even thought twice about being a part of it. Just wasn't on my radar.
Got it.
And I think in 2014, this wonderful lady passed away. She was a prolific gardener, and I somehow ended up with one of her raised vegetable beds that I didn't ask for the vegetable bed. It just landed in my lap.
Got it.
Yeah, and and so I just decided to let it play out and see how things went. And I was given some seedlings and planted some stuff and put it in the ground, and it started growing, and it made me a little interested in where my food came from, Shannon. And then a couple other things transpired. I saw this documentary called Food Inc. That talks about, our food and, and how it's promoted and it's just not that great.
Come on.
And then a mentor of mine at the time would send me these pictures of farmers. He would send me pictures of farmers, and all the farmers were old white men. And he knew that would get under my skin a little bit. And
sorry, I didn't know you couldn't open. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Melvin. My granddaughter's trying to tell me she's going down for a nap. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Oh,
sorry. I'm a grandparent too. You say hi to Mr. Melvin.
Hi.
He said hi. You can't hear him because it's in my headphones. So you have a great nap.
I could hear him.
You can hear him? Okay. You have a great nap, and I'll see you on the other side. Is that Gabby's grandpa? No, that's not Gabby's grandpa. Gabby's grandpa's in the cartoon. But he does have grandchildren, and I'll find out their names too, okay? All right. I love you. Have a great nap.
Bye-bye.
But he said bye-bye.
Bye.
That's adorable.
Appreciate you, man. She goes down for her midday. She goes down for her midday, and whether I'm here, she's got to come down here, find me. Whether I'm on the road, they FaceTime me. It's important to me. It's probably more important to me that she see me going down, getting up, than it is to her. But she'll understand when she gets older. So I apologize for the interruption there, but that's just something I got to do.
No biggie. Yeah.
But no, I was listening, and I guess my issue with a lot of this, because a lot of people say I'm a self-made man.
Mm-hmm.
I did all this on my own. You've already talked about how people helped you and how resources were access to you. Mm-hmm. And then you were living in Avalon House, and you weren't even, it wasn't even on your radar to think about cultivation, but you got into that wheel. Okay. Yeah. You got into that wheel and the Food Inc. special. I believe I've seen that. I've watched so much stuff about food over the last several years, dealing with the culinary industry and cannabis and whatnot. I think I might've seen what you're talking about, but I've learned so much just about where we need to be as a people. I mean, I go to the grocery store. I'm about to go out and get fruit at the market later. But I think we need to be back where you are in cultivating our own products. I know we can't do everything, but we need to be really producing our own products, because frankly, I don't eat meat anymore. And the main reason I don't eat meat is because I can't trust meat, Melvin. It's not that it's I don't trust the way they're growing meat. Yeah. Same thing with vegetables. My lady went to the store to get fruits and vegetables, and she said none of it looked right. She was like, I wasn't going to get of it, because most of it's consumed by the little ones. So when you got to where you were like, okay, I'm gonna do this farm thing. I'm gonna do this farm thing. Which direction did you turn? Did you turn with the people that were dealing with you, or did you really try to kind of go out and do some things on your own? Because I want to get to where we the people came from. I want to hear how that manifested.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Shannon, it was pretty organic. When I first started, again, I started with that 3x9 foot raised vegetable bed, and just started learning a little bit more, getting a little bit more curious about food and where my food came from. But one of the things that hit me immediately, that it was something about me having my hands in the soil that did something for me internally.
Okay.
So this whole thing, before we even got to We the People Opportunity Farm, was really all about me and what it did for Melvin.
Got it.
And so as things progressed, and and I went from that to being part of a cooperative for a year where I grew a little bit of food, and then started a thing down the street from Park Ridge Community Center, a little community garden there in 2016, and then to the space where we currently are. We rent some land from a church in Ypsilanti Township called Grace Fellowship Church House of Solutions.
Absolutely.
And that's where we started at in 2017, and where We the People Opportunity Farm began to take shape.
Right.
But even out there, it was still really all about me. And man, what it did for me to have my hands in that soil and how it quieted the noises inside of my head,
Right.
and kind of helped to settle me and center me. And as a result of my lived experiences about being homeless and incarcerated, I started thinking about how can I introduce this to other folks
Okay.
who have traveled down the same roads that I've traveled.
Okay.
And that was kind of like the beginning of We the People Opportunity Farm.
So my thing is, I make thumbnails just for the promo of it, for the billboarding of the stream. And if I have a guest on, I try to cater it really around them. And I found this picture of you, and I don't know if you can actually see the actual stream, but I found this picture of you on the We the People page, and you're sitting in the midst of your garden.
Yeah.
And you just talked about what it meant for you to be in that soil, to have your hands in that soil, to be that's your safe place, that's your sanctuary. And I looked at this picture, and if this doesn't spell out a man that's at peace, right here in this picture, you strike me as an individual that's not real big on pictures. You ain't trying to take a whole lot of selfies and pictures and stuff, but when it's about your work, when it's about what you do, right. I think you acquiesce to the movement, because we're in that video and audio social media stage. But where you are in this picture, I just looked at the imaging and I'm like, man, this dude is at peace with where he's at, not so much just that physical space, but a mental space. So I love the fact that you can talk about that it means something to you. I know I probably get the same feelings, whether I'm in the kitchen or whether I'm in my studio. I feel at peace when I'm in my comfort zone. And I think that is your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Just going back not too far, because I want to keep springing forward with the questioning. Did your grandparents, did they garden at all? Did they grow any crops over in that Dexter Davison area? I know that area a little bit, Tuxedo, Leslie Street, all that area.
Yeah.
Did they do any type of cultivation in their own yard, or did they get out and do any farming when you were growing up?
No, they didn't do any farming and cultivation in their own yard. In fact, we had a neighbor next door that had also kind of migrated from the South to get away from terrorism. And I remember him having these weird looking plants in his yard. Later on, I found out like he was growing like collard greens and tomatoes. And
got it.
And I would think to myself as a kid, man, like, where's the grass at, right? Why
Right.
So I was pretty disconnected from food, like the growing of food. Yeah.
So, and we've gotten to that space now. And like I said, I think we need to turn back. We need to figure out exactly that producing our own food should be our number one goal. And if we can't produce our own food, we at least need to be going to people who are producing and paying them instead of paying the larger stores. I know in mass we have to do it, but if we can find good cultivators like yourself, because I do know your place to be environmentally safe. It's been tested and the soil's right and everything like that. But really, you're feeding back into your own community. You're giving back to your own community. If we're working with someone like a Melvin Parson and We the People, Kroger doesn't care whether we buy from them or not. Meijer doesn't care whether we buy from them or not. Any of these big box stores don't care whether we buy from them or not. But it means a lot to you and your team and We the People Opportunity Farm, whether we buy from you or not. So we got to change a lot of that narrative around. And that's what I'm really into. I'm called the Villager on Deck because I play home games. I like dealing with my community, my home, and Washtenaw County is centrally my home base. Grew up in Ann Arbor and whatnot. And I just need to see more people thinking like yourself and on that cultivation spirit. I know we don't have a lot of land out here. Maybe we can't get cattle and fowl and different things like that, but we can start with vegetables. We can start with some fruits. We can start with those things. And then maybe we can bubble a little bit and get some land to where we can start to get, farm animals, whatnot. But when you got into dealing with the We the People organization, now you had to have obviously some people who knew a little bit more than you. Like,
Yeah.
who taught you about, like, seeding and fertilization and things like that? Were those people that you went to, got some, wisdom from, and just moved forward? Or are these people that are still connected to the We the People Opportunity Farm?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, again, like along the way, it's just been pretty magical. I met a lot of folks along the way early on, and even to this day, who were just willing to share knowledge, right, and answer questions and put up with my naivety,
Okay.
right, and then there was Google,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Absolutely.
right,
Absolutely.
and I think about the early days of We the People Opportunity Farm. I mean, I think the first couple of years that we were out there, we had over 800 people come out and volunteer and
Nice.
help out.
Nice.
And that was before the formation of our formerly incarcerated paid internship program. So at the
Okay.
beginning, it was just essentially me and a lot of just amazing volunteers and people just coming out there to lend a hand and give advice and guidance and direction.
So, and no pun intended, but you organically had help right from the beginning. You had people coming out of the goodness of their heart. You get people that might not even really know what your overall mission is, but when they see something good happens, they tend to come out. Right. And that's a good thing. Now, one of the things that I've learned throughout our lives, once you start doing a little bit better for yourself, some of that organic help tends to wane a little bit, or it's at least diluted, or I should say polluted, with people who become naysayers to the movement. And I'm not saying a lot of this runs up all the way the food chain to you, but I've personally heard it on my level. I know that there's people out here who I would have to say work against you for the overall mission. And it's a problem with me because I think that's what really holds us back as a people. I think that, we get into a situation where we feel like, well, maybe we can do better, or they're not doing exactly what they should be doing, this, that, and the other. But instead of jumping in and helping, and attempting to help make the things better, they would just stand from the sidelines, or what we call it, the peanut gallery. They would rather just shout from the peanut gallery. Now, as you moved in and really got your heels dug in with the We the People farm, you probably figured out, you know what, if I did this, and this is just me, I want you to correct me if it's not true, but if I did this, I want to look at other people who came possibly down the same road as me, because you do have a reentry program for your staff members and things like that. How did that all come about? Because I met some of those folks, when I came out to the farm, and beautiful people. And personally, I don't know a ex-con from a con from a whatever, I know people, and these people obviously had issues with substances. They had issues with incarceration, but when they get on that farm, they're just cultivators at that point. They're soil changers. So I need to know, how did that come about? What made you jump into it that way versus trying to go out and just get people off the street to really help We the People grow?
Yeah, again, Shannon, it was really based upon my lived experience, in reflecting upon a time. I remember one time I got out of prison, and I had these great ideas, but then I was released with no money and not a lot of support, and so that very same day that I was released, I went out to the shopping mall and to steal some clothes so that I could go back and sell them, so that I could give me some food or stay in a motel or something like that.
Sure.
And I got caught, the same day.
Right when you got out.
Yeah, I wasn't home 24 hours.
God damn. Okay.
God dang, man. And did another 4 years in prison behind that. And so
can we pause on that? Can we pause on that, Mel? Because here's the thing. People don't understand. You walking out of an incarceration facility, a penal facility, and less than 24 hours later, you are on your knuckles to the point where you don't even have apparel.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I have a problem with prisons and whatnot. I don't get into 20 cents an hour, 10 cents an hour. I don't care about nothing like that. My thing is, if somebody serves some time and you've figured out whether you want to release them or not, there is no way in hell that they should be put into a position to where they should have to steal anything. And you're saying less than 24 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't walk out. So the movies be lying. You don't walk out with like $200-$300 in your pocket after serving time. And, you can go get you a meal. You can get you a bus ride home and this, that, and the other. Because they always make it seem like they set you up with a couple $100 when you go out and maybe it's a new outfit or something like that. That's all a lie. That doesn't really happen in real prison life.
I don't think so. It certainly didn't happen for me.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I'm just clarifying it, brother. Because
see,
the movies make you think a lot of things. And I think that's why we have so much recidivism, as they call it. I think they make in prison look like it's just like outside, but somebody's just got to tell you what to do, everything. And you were stealing. You weren't stealing because you were stealing to be greedy, or you were even stealing to solve a habit. You were stealing because you were hungry.
Yeah, for survival's sake.
Survival.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no doubt our criminals, our criminal justice system is broken on probably every level, and it's not designed for. I've got to say now, and it's slowly changing in some ways due to a lot of incredible work that people are doing in combating mass incarceration on the legislative level, on the local level, and even in here in Michigan, in some areas, especially Washtenaw County, I would say in some ways, even on the political front, that's changing. But that's a huge boat, So it takes some time to shift that direction, but it's slowly being done. But back then, not so much at all.
I got it.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and you're very right about that. I mean, and it's more than a boat. It's almost like a Royal Caribbean cruise ship with all the different entities and things like that. Because when you talk about incarceration, we obviously know we've been on the bad side of it, with mass incarceration. We can commit a crime, the same crime as somebody who was opposite of us on the pigmentation scale, and we go to jail for 10 years, they might go to jail for 10 months. Mm-hmm. And if they do go to jail. But what we're looking at now is, I think that some people, because they have been overly charged, overly convicted, overly sentenced, there's now more of a scope on those situations, because some people don't always need incarceration. Some people do need rehabilitation. Some people need counseling. Some people need, help along the lines, because there's a reason why everybody does what they do, Mel. You know this. Right. There's a reason, right? So that's what we I don't think that they took a look at why a lot of people did what they did. You were trying to steal some clothes so you could go sell them to get some food. They gave you 4 years for trying to stay alive, because food makes us stay alive. They didn't ask. Nobody asked. What they did was they gave you the 4 years because you violated your parole, your newly given parole. They didn't care about your situation, because they wouldn't have gave you the 4 years.
Sure.
And that's what I think that more of a scope is put on the judicial system now, is where they're looking at these things. And I commend the people who are doing that, but we know in a lot of part of this country, they're still just throwing you in the cell and throwing the key away, basically because, they say you committed a crime and it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But moving forward with we the people, and you've got your situation set up, and in Washtenaw County, I've heard recently that, we're one of the counties where a lot of people are wanting to be released to from a parole, obviously probation, you're already here, but from a parole standpoint, I look at it two ways. I look at it in the way of, okay, maybe they see how the judicial system is set up. Maybe it's a little bit more understanding, compassionate and whatnot. But then I also look at the opportunities that are in Washtenaw County versus a Wayne County versus a Oakland County or some of the other neighboring counties.
Mm-hmm.
Washtenaw County is very, very open to reentry. Whereas other people may say it because it politically sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're as active as Washtenaw County. So getting into the reentry program to bring people in to the We the People family, what was that like? I mean, did you have to get with people to do screening? I mean, because you've got right now, and I'm sure you've gone through several people and people have come and gone and whatnot, but you've got the crew that I seen this past summer. They're ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they are down 10 toes down for you, for We the People, for the opportunity. And I think they're trying to stay right. But how long did that take for you really got that wheel rolling the right way?
Yeah, so this year was our 4th year. This was our 4th year of our paid internship program.
Okay.
And I think and that's a great comment you made, Shannon. I think the folks in our formerly incarcerated internship program are 10 toes down for us, because our goal is to one of our values is kindness and dignity. You know, and so we make sure, and we're very intentional that we treat the folks that come into our program with value and kindness and dignity. There we go. I see the picture right there.
I've been trolling you, bro. I'm on it.
Yeah, that's it there, right? You know, and I found out just from my life experience, you know, when I'm treated with kindness and dignity, it just it goes a long way.
It does something to you, don't it? It does something to you,
man. You know, so we make sure that we treat our folks with kindness and dignity, and we treat them with value, and make sure their voices are heard. You know, again, this was our 4th year with our paid internship program, and you know, and it just started out with a couple of people in year 1, and you know, this whole thing is just kind of like, you know, somehow or another, I've gotten this plane off the ground and just trying to build it while it's in the air, right?
Absolutely.
And so at current point, we have 2 staff members, not including myself. We've got a farm manager and a program coordinator. Farm manager is that guy in the hat right there, with his hands up. His name is Eric Campy.
Yep.
We've got a program coordinator. Her name is Heidi Bechtel. And, you know, we've got 5, and we're bringing on two new board members today.
Nice.
We've got some awesome board members that's presided over by Victoria Burton Harris.
Okay.
We've got Justin Harper and Cormac Levison and Andy Somerville. And we're bringing on Deshaun Leaf, and Jordan Els.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that's where we are currently. And this year you probably met our current interns, and this year we were able to have 6 folks in our internship program, and we were able to pay our interns $21 an hour.
Can you say that? Can you say that again?
We were able to pay our interns $21 an hour.
$21 an hour. See, people don't understand that is people coming out of substance abuse facilities. That is people coming out of jail, prison, into a situation, and the title is intern. Most people look at interns, they don't get paid. But this is an internship that gets paid $21 an hour. People can't tell me that if you can't make money out here when you're given an opportunity, and you're giving people an opportunity because you've been on the side that they're on. So that's a beautiful thing. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I appreciate the Edie. Come on, get out. I appreciate I'm humbled and honored to have the opportunity to do that at We the People Opportunity Farm. Yeah.
You're in a situation where obviously knowing where the farm is, you know, over on South Harris and things like that. I seen that. Now, are there other We the People gardens, farms, or is that your central location and you do everything from there? Because you're all over the place as far as where your products are. So is that your centralized farm, or do you have other plots of land where you do cultivation? Because I know you've grown significantly over the last several years.
Yeah, that's our only location.
Okay. So it makes it even more magnanimous, where I know you have products. I just saw you out in front of Plum Market. I saw you down in front of Zingerman's. I've seen you at other places. These are household name places in Washtenaw County. And you're obviously at the farmers markets and whatnot. Now, where does this go? Because now that I've seen this, and I don't know exactly when this specific picture was taken, but it says this farm is environmentally, vetted. And I know for a fact that every farm is not environmentally vetted. What does this give you as an advantage over other farms, by having this type of endorsement? And obviously you've already gotten the endorsement from the people in Washtenaw County and the surrounding areas, but what does this give you being an environmentally vetted farm?
I don't think it gives us an advantage in that way.
Okay.
It just forecasts the folks that like we care about the food that we grow and how it's grown. So it says more to that than anything else.
Got it.
And it says more to our model. Our model really is about the folks that come in our program. Like they're our focus. And we use farming as the vehicle.
Got it.
To kind of to use as a vehicle to build some trust and some relationships and to come alongside them to help them change some soil in their lives. Because all of their farming, all of their time in our internship program is not spent on the farm. Like they also, like last year, our interns went through a nonviolence communication workshops. They did financial literacy courses.
There you go.
They spent a couple of times with Habitat for Humanity in the community, helping rehab a house along Habitat for Humanity's volunteers. They've connected with Michigan Works for jobs training and skills building. And they're now connected with a newly formed program that has like a pre-apprenticeship training. And after the pre-apprenticeship training is done, they've got the opportunity to get into an apprenticeship program. Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good. I love it. This is all organic. See, real life happens here. When you get a stream and it's all quiet and you never hear anything. Those natural sounds, my granddaughter busting in the studio, that's all that's real life. That's organic living. So understanding, you just named off some incredible situations, because that's the other area. I've really just kind of gotten my situation. Had to start with the vision, and then I had to say, you know what, I need to do a logo. I need to do some branding, and I got Print Giants. Shout out to brother Opio Shaw, and Print Giants helping me out getting my branding going. I've got a little company called Pebbles to Pillars that's going to be kicking off in January. We're doing a little work around the community right now, but I'm staying quiet because I want to talk to people like you and build with people like you, because I believe before you can become a pillar of your community, you have to be a pebble. And it takes many a pebbles to make a pillar. And with that being said, what you're doing with We the People is ridiculous, from just bringing people out into your system, paying them, giving them a substantive wage, making sure that they don't have to do the things that you had to do to try to survive and possibly violate and be back inside. But you're also talking that next level stuff, financial literacy, the Habitat for Humanity. You're giving them vehicles to reach out and grab onto so that they can learn how to do other things. Because We the People, will probably pass them by because you're constantly in cycle trying to get new people that are coming out and they need to advance. Or you might get so big to where some of these people come out, and that's when you do start acquiring other plots of land and things like that. They start running those farms. Either way, they've got to learn more than what's going on. So we haven't even built on any of the stuff that I just spoke about. But the reason I saw you, because let me be honest, I know several people in Washington County that call themselves farmers and they don't have a plot of land. So you tell me how you planting and cropping, but you ain't got no land. Anyways, pause. So I know you to be true. I've seen your land. I've been where you are. And the big thing for me is I also have seen your movement. Some of the people that you just mentioned, I got in my phone. I talk to on a regular basis. So it's a good thing to know that I love being around good people who know good people. And that lets me know, and that validates me, like, okay, so this person I might have thought was on the fence. No, they on the right side of history because they're dealing with people like Melvin. So that's a beautiful thing. Where we go from here is you've got the wheel going. And as you said, you got the plane in the air flying and you're continually building it. So that's a great analogy because you already know you can't build the plane and have it all fully finished and then fly it. You got to get it good enough to get it off the ground and get it moving so you can keep things going. Part of that is you got to make a living. You got to live a substantive lifestyle. You've got kids, you got grandkids. My thing is this, where you are right now and where you were in 2015 is just, it's ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Where do you see we the people 5 years from now? Where do you see just I'm not asking for stats. What I'm asking, what is your vision for right now? We're about to go into 2024. So let's say 2029. Where do you see we the people opportunity farm in 2029 with what you've already got brewing right now?
Yeah, wow. I don't know, man. I feel like the sky's the limit.
Oh man, yeah,
the sky's the limit. Certainly I see us in a new location than where we are. We just need to be like where we are. It doesn't allow for expansion,
right?
In terms of our food imprint.
Got it.
I mean, and although we like last year and probably this year too, we just haven't done the final numbers. We'll probably end up growing about 16,000 pounds of food.
Okay.
2/3 of that, we're fortunate enough to be able to have relationships with vendors that buy our produce. And 1/3 of our food, we're fortunate enough to be able to give back to our community at no cost to them.
Got it.
Our goal is not to increase the number of vendors that we're able to sell to, but to increase the impact of food that we're able to give back into our community, and to somehow tie some educational components onto that, whether that's cooking demos or cooking classes or recipes, like what to do with this amazing collard greens that folks have just gotten from us, or kale or garlic or things like that. And what I also see is creating some social enterprises. I believe I'm going to have an opportunity next year to go out to LA as a result of my connection with Jane Fonda's daughter, who's putting me in touch with Homeboys Industries. And every year they have an annual summit where they talk about their program and social enterprises. And so I'm looking forward to going out there and building with that organization and potentially bringing some of those concepts back here so that we the people Opportunity Farm can not only have like this 9-month paid internship program, but also create jobs that are permanent jobs for folks to be able to make a sustainable living and to support themselves and their family and give back to their community. So that's one of the things that a couple of things that I see happening
Okay.
in the future for We the People Opportunity Farm.
Well,
Because our internship program, it has a stop and start. It has a start and stop date.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, how long is the internship program?
The internship program is about 9 months. It starts the first week in April, and to be honest, I'm a little bit sad right now because yesterday was the final day of our farm. Like we put our farm to rest yesterday.
Okay.
And we're going to pay our interns, even though the internship is over with officially as of yesterday. Like we're going to pay our interns through the end of December.
Wow.
As a means of supporting them.
That's huge. That's huge, Mel. Here's the thing. I'm not much into the man-made holidays anymore. I do things for my kids, for my grandkids, for my lady, we actually don't even really, exchange gifts the way we used to. I spent so much of my life paying homage to a holiday. And I know it made the kids happy and maybe made some people that I was with happy, but I try to have Christmas every day. I try to have Happy New Year's. I try to have a happy birthday every day. What you're doing, though, because you are in such a powerful position with these people, and I know you don't try to play that position, stretching someone's wage out until the end of December is going to take a lot of pressure off of these people who have come back into society. And Christmas time or the holiday season is the most stressful time for most Americans.
Sure.
It's the most stressful time when you ain't got enough money to get Christmas gifts for your family. And sometimes it's your kids or your spouse or whomever. That may make you go want to do something that you really shouldn't be out there trying to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're covering their wage until the end of the year, that's why you're great. I know you're going to deny this every single time I say it, but that's why there's certain things that make people great, Mel. It's not just about you started this farm and this, that, and the other. No, there's certain intangibles that it's just ridiculous for what you're doing out here to make a difference in these people's lives. So we ain't gonna argue about this, Mel. This is my show, and I'm gonna tell you, you're great.
Hey, man, it's your show, man. It's your show, Shannon.
But the thing is, I think that's phenomenal because I know for a fact, and you know this too, some people are getting cut right now.
Yeah.
Some people are getting cut because it pays some of these retailers or people in business to hire temp people during the holiday season, cut people that have been working full-time for them for 10 months, cut those people and bring in people and work them like dogs for a couple months, work them through the holiday season, the Black Friday, the Christmas season, and then that return season, then get rid of them and then start rehiring people again. I've been in that wheel. Yeah. I've been in that wheel. So I understand what you're doing. It's so huge. And that's going to give them an opportunity to go find what they need to find going into 2024 without the Achilles heel or being hamstrung. I don't know why I'm using all these body parts, but being hamstrung without any type of financial issues. That's huge. And I commend you for that. I commend We the People Opportunity Farm for that. Now, understanding where we are, there's been challenges. I'm sure there's had to be challenges. You've had a ton of help. You've had a ton of resources thrown at you, but we still have the challenges of being Black men in business.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm going to jump in Melvin's boat, not so much the We the People boat, but I'm going to jump in Melvin's boat. You are a Black man that's in business. What type of challenges have you had being a Black farmer? You are a farmer, you are a cultivator, but what type of challenges have you had being a Black farmer in our great county of Washington?
Good question, Shannon. I've got to be, when you sent me the questions prior to, I thought about that, and I don't think my challenges have been. I haven't had a lot of challenges being a Black farmer in Washington County. I think at the time that I started, it was, again, like from the beginning, I got a lot of help and a lot of support,
Got it.
in this county. Now I can imagine being in other places and having challenges that I didn't have here. So I was very fortunate in that way. My biggest challenge has just been being Melvin Parson, right?
Okay.
You know, that's been my biggest challenge, like kind of being, you know, because this thing organically is, you know, taken off and just kind of like being thrust into this trajectory and not having, you know, and not knowing what the heck it is that I'm doing, right? Like not having had the education or the training or the skills, not even knowing and not even understanding about things that are important for, you know, mental health, physical health. I just found out about emotional regulation, right? You know, of our bodies, right? Like look, bro, I just started learning how to breathe, right? like a little bit under 90 days ago. I just found out about like deep breathing.
I got it.
Right.
I got it.
And the impact of that, you know, I think the biggest challenge has just been Melvin Parson.
Okay.
And stepping into this role that I feel like I've done a lot of work to put myself in.
So the crazy thing is, and I wasn't expecting that, but then after thinking about it, I guess I would have to have been in a different scenario. Now, I mean, obviously Washtenaw County, I know it has its issues, and where I don't look at it as a racist place, I know it has its racist tendencies. It might not be racist, but it's racish. It's got its situations.
Sure.
It's got its situations. Growing up in Ann Arbor, I was in an area what they called the melting pot at that time. I know Ann Arbor to be what it is now. I don't look at it as the same melting pot environment where they welcome a lot of different ethnicities and you know, things like that. I don't believe it's as inviting as it was back in the 70s, 80s, or even 90s. I think it's become more sectional or fractionalized for people. So that's why I chose to ask that question. Now, understanding where you are now, has the market outside of even the county or even dealing with vendors, has there been any type of resistance you coming at them? Because normally what they see, or normally of what they've seen in the past, has not been Black farmers on the level that you're on. Has there been any type of resistance? Because here's the thing, I understood what you just said when you said the biggest problem or the biggest obstacle is just people letting you be Melvin. See, Melvin really doesn't want to change to fit into somebody else's mold. And Melvin shouldn't have to change to fit into somebody else's mold. But Melvin has had to acquiesce with some of the things that are out here and understand this is kind of how it has to move forward. But very much like myself, I don't want to change to fit into somebody else's situation. I'd love to be accepted for who I am. Am I rough around the edges on some things? Absolutely. Could I use a little culturing on some things? Absolutely. But I don't want you changing me, you know? And I know that you probably feel the same with what you've dealt with. But as far as dealing with the open markets and things like that, has there been any challenges? Because people generally don't see folks like yourself or like us coming at them to sell their wares in mass production and whatnot. Have you met any resistance on those levels? Or did they think you work for somebody else? A lot of people think you might be coming in that you work for We the People Farm. They don't understand that you are We the People.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah. I gotta say this too, because it's just in my head. I think did fail to mention one of my board members, and you may know this awesome guy.
Do it.
His name is Brian Jones Chance.
The 734 Brewery, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. No, we don't want to leave no names out.
Yeah, sorry about that, Brian.
No, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave. We don't. And he's a city council person now, right?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I do know.
It's
We
a
had our
city
class
council.
reunion at his brewery, and I do know the brother. Haven't met him. I'd love to probably be able to platform him to talk about the city of Ypsilanti. But this is why I do what I do. I don't really have an echo chamber. I have most people that are watching this stream. Information Man, much respect to you. Information Man is on the West Coast. He has his own platform on YouTube. And he comes and checks out this little bitty platform. I get about 12, 13 people to watch my videos, and he happens to be one of them. Jasmine Virgo, she is a loyal listener. Heidi Hoffman, I think, knows you probably more than she knows me. She's checked in. We already saw Victoria Burton Harris that checked in earlier. So I appreciate anybody that's going to always check out the stream. But I know that you're going to be seen by more people on this stream that didn't know you beforehand. So when they hear some of the people, you know what everybody does? They go Google this. They go, what? He's connected to this person? He's connected to that person? That's what people do now. And that's what makes you great too, because you've got your ordinary people, then you've got your people that are highly elevated and elected that are all working with you in this We the People Opportunity Farm. So it's a beautiful thing. So saluting you, to me, was one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you. It wasn't so much that I had these questions that you hadn't already answered by somebody else. I wanted to salute you because one of the things that I always like to try to find out, and we're gonna get to some, because I got a slight bone to pick with you too, but we want to talk about this. This was an incredible thing for me to see this, because I know awards. I know awards, I know trophies, I know everything. So, well, I don't know everything. Well, I guess I do know everything about this. This is not one of those everybody gets a trophy award. One, it's got your name on it. Yeah. Okay. The Henry Ford's Carver Prize, September 17th, 2023. Yeah. We the People Opportunity Farm, regenerating lives. Your name is on this. There wasn't a bunch of these awards just handed out. This was specifically given to Mr. Melvin Parson. Please tell me what it took for you to get this award, and obviously the cliche-ish, what does it mean to you, Melvin?
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was that's I'm very honored by that award. So I've been, again, when you went back and asked me the challenges I faced, it's I haven't faced a lot being a Black farmer. And I've been fortunate enough to be put in these spaces that have legitimized me more than hindered me. And one of those spaces was the opportunity to be connected with the Henry Ford. I've been connected with the Henry Ford since 2019, when I became their first, the inaugural member of a program that was put together for entrepreneurs. I was the first entrepreneur in residence at the Henry Ford back in 2019, which meant I had this opportunity for them to come alongside me and for me to come alongside them as they highlighted and spotlighted agricultural work.
Okay.
And I've been able to fortunate enough to be and stay connected with them ever since then.
Nice.
And recently I became a member of the Carver Carson Society. Mm-hmm. And this society currently is dedicated. Our mission is to provide in perpetuity a free lunch program for the students at the Henry Ford Academy. Mm-hmm. In perpetuity, and for that food to be locally sourced from Michigan farmers. Mm-hmm. And so I get an opportunity to be a part of that. And this prize here was a result of my connections in my connections at the Henry Ford, and just the work that I've been doing within the agricultural sphere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So when I see stuff like this, I always try to acknowledge it, because like I said, we are in that everybody gets a trophy stage of our society now. But when people actually do the real work and they get out here and they actually win something, or not so much a win or loss type situation, but they earn something, I have to acknowledge that as well. And there's been so much hard work that you've put in to get to this stage, and there'll be so many more accolades and awards and trophies and things like that that We the People Opportunity Farm will acquire. Certain things hit home, just knowing your lineage with the Henry Ford and where you started with them and where you are now. A lot of things, really have to come, full circle. And as we approach, we just hit over 60 minutes here. I'm not going to keep you all day because the pooch wants to get to you. And I know my granddaughter ain't going to stay asleep all day. So we're going to make this more of a family day. But like I said, I got a little bone to pick with you because I saw this and I thought this was an incredible situation. I'm going to tell you right now. I saw Jane Fonda out at the farm. And I'm like, Brother Melvin couldn't call a brother. So he couldn't call a brother. You'll have Jane out there. But no, she came out. And could you explain? I know you said that you're dealing with her daughter and she's hooking you up with the homeboys out west, but what brought Jane to Washtenaw County? I mean, because this is an incredible feat. And then I'll tell you why I got a bone to pick with you. Now, and I'm joking about, you didn't call me for this because we didn't even know each other until right before this video started. So what brought Jane Fonda and her people to Washtenaw County to meet with the We the People Opportunity Farm?
Well, it wasn't that she came to meet with us.
Okay.
Yeah, what brought Jane and another incredible, iconic woman named Alice Waters,
mm-hmm.
and a historian named Dr. Douglas Brinkley to Michigan.
Okay.
Was the Henry Ford.
Okay.
And so the following day there was an event that all of them were a part of. But since they were here that whole weekend, part of their itinerary on Saturday that the Henry Ford put together because of Alice Waters' interest in regenerative farming and things of that nature was for them to come out and tour We the People Opportunity Farm.
Okay, that's beautiful. So I really didn't know how that it came about, and so organically I just got the answer, y'all. I really did. I thought she came to see We the People, so she was here for that event where you got that award. Is that right? Okay. Yes. So understanding now, what is this picture right here? What are you saying to Jane? You got Jane one-on-one. You kicking the knowledge. You done took your sunglasses off and you showing her some things. What type of wisdom are you kicking to Jane Fonda right now? Brother Melvin locked up. We're gonna wait for him. We're not gonna go any further. Hold on one second. I'm gonna let him reconnect. Hopefully he's able to reconnect. If he goes out, because we just about done here. So I definitely don't want to end the stream without him having the opportunity to connect. I'm not going to let him go just yet. Give me one quick second. Make sure. Give him the opportunity to get back up. He could have lost power. He's outside. He may have lost power. Could have lost his signal. But I'm going to give him the opportunity to come on back up. We're waiting for you, brother. But I appreciate everybody that's checked this out on YouTube. Hopefully the stream has been clear. The audio has been good. The content is crazy. This is a great stream. I know it's an interview, but it really is just a conversation between two brothers who I've admired his work from afar up until this day. We had met briefly, probably for about 3-4 minutes on his farm one day. After I had a tour of his farm, then I went back out and talked to some of his people. So, I knew him to be a great man and somebody that I wanted to speak with on The Villager on Deck. But, we got it to the day. I really wanted him to get through his season. I wanted him to get through, you know, everything that he has to do from a business perspective and really make this just a organic conversation. We've used that word organic a lot today, obviously, because we're talking about, you know, vegetation and fruits and things like that. So I'm just making sure he gets himself set up maybe with some power. If he lost power, lost his signal, I just want to give him an opportunity to get back in here so we can close out. But he's an incredible man, you know, and he's gone through a lot in his life, and that's where I called him a great brother. I called him a great man, and he's going to knock that down. He's going to knock that down because of the humble soul that he is, but he's not going to any way sway me to know that he's great. I appreciate you, brother. I don't know if you lost power or lost your signal.
I lost power. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. But Dave, I can talk all day long, so I kept it going. I'm an old DJ, so we don't believe in dead air around here. We're gonna keep the music popping. Yeah. We're gonna keep the music popping. Yep. And the music right now today has been Mr. Melvin Parson. We were closing out, and I just wanted you to kind of give what were you talking about to Sister Jane right here? You know, Jane has been a friend, obviously, Black Americans for a long time. I know a lot of people have their situations with Jane, but Jane has always come to our situations. I won't say our aid. I don't believe Jane is a white savior, but I believe she's been somebody who grew up the right way, and she understood who people were from the beginning, and she's never tried to step in and be a savior. But this type of situation where she's at, I think Jane is about 85 now. I've somewhat followed her career loosely, but I think she's right in that mid-80s range. And I just wanted to know, like, you had a one-on-one time with her right here. What were you saying to her when you guys were just out there talking like that?
Oh, wow. What were we talking about? I think we were just talking about people and just the power of connection and relationship and treating folks, you know, with kindness and dignity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a beautiful thing, because I know she sees your mission now, or has seen your mission now. Going forward, I'm sure Jane and people connected to Jane are going to be an extended part of the We the People Opportunity Farm, and they'll see the growth and make sure that they help facilitate the growth. I'm putting it out there because I'm a natural salesperson, but I want to make sure that you know, people like her do stay in pocket while they're still with us, not on an ancestral level. We need her boots on the ground and need her good spirit. Now, this is where I had the real bone to pick with you, because like I said, I knew this wasn't a situation where you tried to neglect a brother, but you got to understand, Brother Melvin, I've been following Jane Fonda all my life. And this is the Jane Fonda. This is the Jane Fonda that I knew back in the day. Okay, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. So I had two girlfriends growing up. Now, this picture was actually from the 60s. This is before I was even thought of. But my father was really fond of Jane Fonda. He spent many years, almost 30 years in Georgia, and was a friend of Ted Turner's. So, you know, he had many times where he met up with them. But Jane Fonda and Bernadette Stannis, who was Thelma on Good Times, were probably my first two girlfriends. Okay. And I love Jane Fonda. And even all the way into the 80s, when the 9 to 5 movie came out and she was goofy, she was real goofy in that role. But I always saw something in Jane. I don't know why that I didn't see in other people, but she was just one on my radar, you know? So when I saw that you was out there with Jane, I know Jane 85 now, but Jane wasn't 85 right here. So this is the Jane that I remember her. And, you know, I was like, you know, when I talk to this brother, I'm about to let him know next time Jane comes to town, he needs to call me. He needs to call me. So, but no, I appreciate everything that you've been able to bring to light. I really didn't want to make this an interview. I wanted to make it a discussion for you to be able to articulate who you are, what We the People are. I'm glad you were able to talk about the great people that you're involved with. You know, the board members and the staff and different things like that, because one of the things that I know you couldn't do it without all the people around you. And for you to get up here and just say it's me, or I'm a self-made man, you know, I went in and came out a new man. I knew that you weren't that. That's why another reason I wanted to speak. But then you just kick those nuggets about paying people until, December 31st, or, getting people involved with financial literacy and the Habitat for Humanity and different situations like that lets me know that your thinking is next level. And that's what truly, to me, like I said, makes you great. My big issue is to see people for who they are and really have them showcase why they're great, why they're good, why they're great, why they're magnificent. And you've done that on this level for sure. I look forward to breaking bread with you on some other things, because I think that the needs that I'm trying to feed, you can help. No pun intended. But I also believe, because you work with some of the same people that I work with, I think we need to get a big round table or a square table or whatever it is. And I look forward to sitting next to you and breaking bread with you and those people, because I just told a brother a couple of days ago, there's only so many people that are really moving out here in Washtenaw County. We can say what we want. We can make it look good for Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, whatever. But there's only so many people that are really moving out here. Some people put on a good look, but they really ain't moving. Melvin Parson is moving. We the People Opportunity Farm is moving. And the one thing that I can't do is I can't fake the funk. I've been out here for too long, and where I'm coming into a rebirth, let's just say, and we'll talk more about that, thanks to the judicial system understanding that what I might have done 35 years ago is past me. What I might have did 11 years ago is past me. And acquiring my name back without all the extensions, without all the suffixes to them, let's say, is going to be a beautiful thing in 2024. And I look forward to being able to do some of the things that I've been hamstrung and not been able to do over these last several years. And that's going to allow me to build with people like yourself, because you paid your debt on the inside and then had to deal with some things obviously on the outside. Well, I've lived with these things hanging on me all these years, and now they're going to be off. And now I can run with people like you. I can run with other people that are out here in the field that are really trying to get real work done. But to you, brother, you are a king. Yeah, actually.
So are you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
And listen, I gotta say this, and you can run with me anyway, man, no matter what's hanging on you. One of the things I told Jane, I said, you know what, Jane, you could actually be part of our internship program, because you'd have been to jail before, right? So
you know what? She has been in the pokey. Jane has been in the pokey.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she got arrested. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Hey, once they put them bracelets on you, bro, and let's do this, because I didn't talk about this as much, but when I saw that logo, and I saw those bracelets, those shackles that were on there. Who did this logo? Can we give him some love? Who did this logo?
Awesome friend of mine. His name is Brent Embry. Brent works at the Henry Ford. Brent is an incredible dude. Yeah.
I mean, the understanding of it all. You got your hands in the soil. Yeah. You've got growth. You started at in the soil. You got growth. You're above soil. But the thing that means the most to me is them wrists, looking at them wrists and the breakage of those shackles. And when I saw that, I was like, I gotta bring it up. Yeah. I was like, I gotta bring it up, because it just, to me, it meant so much to me. You've had those shackles on you way more than I have, Brother Melvin. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean anything unless you keep those shackles off. And you got to keep them physically off you, and you got to keep them mentally off you. And you've been able to do that. I generally close out with my outro music, but I want to close out with something special today. Let me get rid of something here. I want to close out with something special today to truly dedicate this actual stream to you. I found something else when I was actually trolling you. Let me find this real quick here. Bam, bam. There we go. And then let me get in here. Bam. Yeah, I want to close the stream out with this, because what I saw when I looked at all the images and the videos and the posts that you were tagged in, I was like, this dude has got it. but he's not only got it, the people get him. So I want to play something that I found before we get up out of here.
All right.
And I thought it was an incredible situation. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you. You are not only a listener, a contributor to the platform, but you recognize game, and Melvin Parson is game. You know, everybody knows me to be who I am, but when I bring people of substance on here, my viewers, my listeners, I don't call them followers. I don't need nobody followers. I just think they're my fellow leaders, my supporters. When they come on the stream and they really drop that game and let me know that I put together something good, I appreciate that. You know, appreciate your information, man, most definitely. But I want to play this. Because this was an incredible situation that I watched. And it's about a minute long. But just dig it, y'all. Just dig it. This is really what Melvin Parson and the We the People Opportunity Farm is about. And brother Melvin, you be good out here, okay? You be good out here. You be safe out here. And just understand, you've got my number. Pretty soon you'll have my address. And don't you ever hesitate to call. Don't you ever hesitate to call. Because here's the thing. I can't be the villager on deck if I don't answer. And that's whether it's a call, it's a text, or you just say, look, bro, we need to meet up at the farm. I'm there. I'm grabbing my jacket, I'm grabbing my hat, and I'm grabbing my gloves, and I'm on the way. Just understand that.
That's great, man. I'm glad to be part of your ecosystem, and certainly the invitation is for you to be part of ours.
I appreciate you, bro. So you just have an incredible afternoon, an incredible week as we're starting our new week. Y'all got to get it together. I told y'all the week starts on Sunday. It don't start on Monday. It starts on Sunday. So y'all have a great rest of your week, and I'll be at you with something new, I'm sure, pretty soon. Nothing is magnanimous as Melvin Parson and the We the People Opportunity Farm. And I wish everybody one love.
We are at We the People Opportunity Farm's 6th annual Harvest Festival of Thanks event. What a gorgeous day for such an amazing event where we as an organization celebrate the folks in our program and the community that gives us all of their endearing support. We've got face painting, magician, live entertainment, preacher, teacher, ice cream truck, raffles, and lots of incredible, amazing food from the restaurants that support our work. We celebrated our interns by giving them electric bikes. We the People Opportunity Farm, our mission is to break the cycle of incarceration here in Washington County, and that's what drives our work. And today this is about celebrating community, but it's also about celebrating them. Continue to eat, drink, and be merry, everyone. Thank you for being here.
I thought that was incredible, man. I really did. And like I said, just be you. Ain't nobody going to change Melvin Parson. And if they do change Melvin Parson, then we won't have the Melvin that we've already come to learn and love. Peace to you, brother.
Peace.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word. And let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override